Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you're watching from around the world. You're welcome to today's episode on Talk Beta. Today we are going to be discussing a very vast concept, and that has to do with the concept of parenting, parental attention rather, and how it can create a better society. So with me at my left, I have Eva Black. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, and at my right, I have Miss Christina John. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. So, before we hit the nail on the head, I would like some terms to be defined. I want us to define who a parent is, because personally, I believe that a parent is someone who is married, and then because of their marriage and their union, they both give birth to a child. Or is it that a parent is not just limited to someone like that? What can you say about that? Who is a parent?
Well, you said a parent is someone that is married and gives birth to a child, but I don't think that is I don't think it's limited to that. I think anybody that is able to take care of a child's need, to groom a child and bring up a child in a way that is um
Acceptable.
yes, in the society, I think that person should be considered as a parent.
Okay, even if the person has not really given birth to a child.
Yes, yes.
All right. So anybody that has the ability to groom a
Not
child.
like anybody. If when you say anybody, it could be
Okay,
a
someone who is matured
teenager.
enough.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Someone who is matured enough. Yes, like
Okay.
an adult.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. That being said, Eva Black,
Yeah.
please, I want you to at least help us understand the importance of giving parental attention to either a child or maybe an adolescent, someone who is growing under the supervision of a guardian.
Yeah, I grab where you're coming from. What I can really tell about the need for parental attention is the importance that it has behind. Because you need to teach your children about your cultural values and others, you understand?
Okay.
So these things can only be achieved if only you are paying right and positive energy to parental need, you understand?
Okay.
So we need this parental education for the sake that our world today has been civilized to a stage where peer pressures and others really matters a lot. So for our kids not to be influenced by the world abilities and powers, I think we need that education that comes from the parents. Yeah.
Okay, so when you are talking about this parental attention or education, rather, like you simply mean a parent should pay close attention to what the child is going through.
Yeah, absolutely. In order for you to have the best of your child, you have to, from infants, teach your child. You understand? The reality of life. The child is born as an infant, you understand?
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't know anything. So all the child need is your guidance, your words, your like the child will only follow your principles. You understand? So growing up to find you, not giving him that parental attention might lead him wrongly, and at the end of the day, the child might affect the community in a very bad way. Something like becoming a tout, end up to disturb the community, and possibly, you know where those people end. That's the
So,
prison.
like what you are saying now is that indirectly or directly rather, the attention a parent gives to a child or maybe a guardian gives to a child has the ability to influence what he becomes in society. Is that what you are saying?
Absolutely. You've been hearing of the word people use every single day. They say the cow can never give birth to a goat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it matters on parental issue only, not just parental issue only, please. It matters every angle of life. If you train your child to become the best of the community, it's still better for you because that's his child, oh, and the respect will still come back to you, understand? So there's more need for this parental attention than never.
Okay, it's Christina John. Uh, are there possible ways the parents can actually teach the child? Because I growing up, I discovered that most of us we didn't have that liberty of growing with our parents. Some of us immediately we were up to like 5 to 6 years. We were given out to go and stay with your uncle, go and learn life. So, do you actually buy into the idea that maybe when a parent gives birth to a child, do you think they should send the child to go and stay with the parent, or they should allow the child grow with them before sending them out? Or are you even in support of the idea of sending the child out to go and learn life from someone who is an external, maybe an extended family?
Well, personally, I wasn't sent out. Okay, I experienced being sent out once, yes, and it didn't actually sit well. I had to experience shit I wasn't supposed to experience at that tender age. So me as a person, I don't think it's appropriate for a parent to send their child to go and stay with someone. It is only a mother that can understand her child completely, that can know where her child is hurting and when her child is going wrong. But someone that is not your mom or your dad, that's not your parent, will not really pay that attention to you. The person might have other responsibility, like maybe want to take care of her own children. Like the place I stayed, the woman was more focused on keeping her children fit. Like she'll feed her children, make sure her children are well dressed and the rest.
Yeah.
While me and my siblings, we had to survive on anything that's left over. You understand? She doesn't really care. She's more focused on her own children and how they are doing. So I would not really advise a parent to, especially at a tender age. Why would you send out a child at 5? What, like, how do you want her to cope? How do you want the child to survive? Sometimes when you send a child to someone else like this, there are people that are just naturally wicked. They'll start to use you. That's why you see a child of 5 years hawking pure water. How? Why? You see a child of 7 years selling by the roadside, begging from people by the road. Why? Meanwhile, this person, sometimes this person might be financially buoyant. This person might be capable of making this child live a comfortable life, but deep down in her, she doesn't want to spend on someone else's child. So she allows the child to like struggle for themselves
Yeah.
while living with them. So I don't think, and I don't advise any parents at all to send out their child. No matter how hard it is, your child should be with you. It's only you that can understand your child very well.
Wow. Right. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, Eva Black, I would like you to share your experiences. I believe that before um it bordered on you for you to come out to talk on this matter. It's something that you may have experienced. So could you like sharing some experiences that you've had in terms of not being able to be given that parental attention?
Yeah, I might not actually have the experience personally, you understand? But
Okay.
since we are living in a world where
You have people close
everything
by.
is feasible,
Okay.
we've been seeing that the community today is being influenced because of lack of parental care. You understand? 24/7, you're seeing people in the street hawking water, as she did say. You understand? Not like the parental guidance I'm talking about, the parental attention I'm talking about cannot be found in someone else. You understand? But you have to be sure, who are you sending your child out for? Because who you're sending your child out for to stay with really matters. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, you send out a good child only to
Get a
have your
bad
child.
one back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the community is well influenced because of lack of parental attention. In some form, while feeling, you will see something like parental attention doesn't really talks about the parents. Someone who is able to give that child the attention that the
He or
child
she
needs.
deserves.
You understand? That the attention similarly is like that of the mother or the father. That's what we refer to the parental attention that we're talking about here. So the community is where I'm looking from. I'm looking out from, you understand? These people are really spoiling the community for us. They are doing things that we never expect they could do. Killings, doing cultisms and all those things, you understand?
Simply
This is
because they never experienced love.
Yeah.
yeah. These people they don't even know what is love. They have been maltreated to an extent that they need that freedom. And to get this freedom, they need it by force. Forcefully getting the freedom, they will join courtesans and other form of bad gangs. You understand?
And sorry, let me cut you in.
Okay.
Since human beings psychologically we are wired to gravitate to um, wherever we perceive we are loved. You
Okay.
understand? So like this is how it is. Whoever makes you feel loved, no matter how bad that person is, you seem to gravitate to that person. So for instance, I believe that subconsciously that's why they join cultism, because if for instance you were not given love in your while
Yeah.
growing up, and then you see these two guys coming up today, they come to you, how far, how was your day, what's happening? Oh, and you say, oh, I've not eaten. They say, come, let me take you out. You understand? They go and buy you stuff, and then they come, they repeatedly, that thing has an effect on your mind. So even if normally they don't really love you, but simply because they show that care, you seem to gravitate to them, and because of that they have you. So
and
they actually influence you.
yeah, I'm getting well. I'm really getting what you're saying
Okay.
now. But do you think that influence can just come out of love? If you train your child well, you understand, they will go out there to school, to places. You can never go around with your child all the time, you understand.
Mm.
That's why I'm talking about the parental attention. It involves the advice you give to them when they are not with their friends, when they are not out there at shows and play,
Yet,
you
when
understand.
they are not there yet,
Yes, these are what they will grow up with.
you help them to.
When you are absent with them, you are not with them, you understand, you
Okay.
are absent, they will only live with what you taught them when they were with you. You understand? The situation where someone said, "Oh, come join courtesim," or "Out of love, I've been giving you this." Come, the child will now remember that
No, 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 no. This is what I mean is sometimes they won't tell you that's
out
what
of
they want you to.
love. You
That they won't
understand?
tell you that's what they want you to join.
Yeah.
Okay, but simply because that is how we are wired. Even if someone does not really love you, but simply because you perceive that the person loves you, maybe based on what the person does to you or does for you rather, you seem to gravitate sometimes unconsciously.
But believe me, with parental attention, you can estimate real love
Of
from the
course,
fake
of
ones.
course,
You
of course,
understand?
of course. But that's what I'm saying. In situations where this person has not been open to this thing and he does not understand because he's a child, he's growing. You understand? So he learns these things from maybe school and then sometimes church. You get? I hope you know
Okay,
that church plays a big role in shaping society.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Church plays a big role. In fact, let me say, I am 40% a product of where I was trained, like
Okay,
where
in
I grew
terms
up
of
from, and
religion.
60% of my church.
Oh, I get.
I yes, it is. I'm a product of the church. Yes. So when you see me behave the way I do, it's a result of the values that have been taught by my teachers in church. So some of them like that, even though most of them, the people that taught me, some of them they didn't have children.
Okay.
They didn't have children. They were married, but they didn't have children. But I could sense that love because they were always there teaching us both in words and in deed. And then I want to ask something. I don't know. Maybe I should ask you. Do you think that in terms of teaching your child, is it just based on words or actions? Because there's this adage that say, don't do the, okay. I think is a defined concept that people use now. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. So automatically you can be having differences with maybe a neighbor, and then you tell your child, "Anyere m funa ye wo dodo, ndo ya for beni dem for snow." But the truth of the matter is that subconsciously your child will be influenced by what you are doing, and most times they begin hating the same person. So do you think that in terms of teaching a child or giving a child parental attention, that you need to talk and also do at the same time, or is it the talking alone or teaching alone
Yeah,
without acting?
action actually influence a child also.
Okay.
Some children learn by your action. It's just like telling your child don't smoke, but 21st time you're coming up with your cigar. You understand? You're smoking
Okay.
before him, or
Okay.
you're smoking before her.
Mm.
It's going to be hard. This 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 action I'm talking about is like a facial expression. You're
Okay.
telling me you're happy, but you're boning your face on me. Like, you understand?
Mm.
I'll know you're not happy. So you can't come up and tell me you are my father, don't smoke, but 24/7 I'm always finding you smoking. I'll be adapted to this.
Of
You understand?
course.
I want to taste what is really in this smoke that is making my father not to resist from it. You understand?
Mm.
And at the end of the
You
day,
want
I'll
to try
end up
it too?
smoking. So if you want to train your child the best way, I think it's by action and as well also by
By
morals,
morals.
as well also spiritually, like using your Bible.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm.
Your child will grow up to be the best, of which you never expect. You understand?
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say here is, if you say I shouldn't steal, try not to have a record of stealing. You understand?
Mm.
I
Mm.
will learn from you faster
Very
than
well.
you understand.
Because you are showing me by what you are
Absolutely,
doing.
that's where I'm coming from.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much. Okay, Miss Christina, I want you to bring up some. I want you to draw out some, you know, bring up some similarities here between giving this parental attention to a girl child and giving the parental attention to a boy child. Do you think there should be that biases? Because what society is showcasing to us, or what the society is telling us now, presently, in a civilized world. It before then it was said, don't train your female, she's for the kitchen. But right now, because we want to have a balanced life, right? We want to have a balanced perspective in terms of treating both the boy child and the girl child, then it seems that we have deviated and we've left the male child, and we are really focused now on the female child. And if you take a look at the decadence that we are seeing in society, the causes are really the male child. So, what do you think should be done in that aspect?
Well, you asked if I think there should be biases in
Mm.
the way attention is being given to the female
Yeah,
child and the
because
way it's being given
there
to
are
the male
biases.
child.
Yes.
Well, I don't think there should be. I don't think there should be biases.
Okay.
That a female child should be more given more security and
Male
being paid
child
more attention
attention
to than
to.
the male child. And that is actually what is happening these days. Mothers and fathers tend to pay more attention to their daughters. They're like, I don't want you to fall into bad gang. I
Mm.
don't want you. And they fail to notice that their sons are actually already falling into those bad gangs.
Mm.
They feel like there was this movie I was seeing yesterday with my family, and then the woman was like, the girl was like, why are you protecting only me and not my brothers? The woman said, they are boys, they can take care of
Of themselves.
themselves. Now she at that point she doesn't really care if the boy is being influenced wrongly. She doesn't care if there are people pressurizing the boy to do things he doesn't want to. She's more focused on the female child. As long as this female is coming out well, the boys are definitely going to come out well. No, it's not supposed to be like that. You should give equal attentions to both genders, both the male and the female gender. When I was coming up, my dad actually paid more attention to me. And it got to a point that my brothers couldn't approach him. It was always, go, now you be daddy favorite. You understand? Go, now you be daddy favorite. I know somehow they felt bad that they couldn't really approach my dad and ask him. But me, I wasn't really that close to him, but to him, I was the closest child to him.
Mhm.
You got. So I don't think parents should be biased in giving out attention. Equal
But
attention should be meted out to both genders.
but unfortunately, this is the sad reality. This is what we are seeing. So how can we like tell? Because what we are doing now is that we are kind of exposing these things to help whoever is a parent that will be watching, to help them understand that we are hurting. We are hurting because because of where I grew up from, I grew up with this rage that no one loves me. Yes, I grew up with this subliminally. In fact, about 2 years ago, I really began to give people a chance to show me love because subconsciously in my mind, I was like, no one loves me because where I came up from, that was what was happening. In fact, my grandmom had to tell me using her lips, they don't love you. They
Mhm.
don't love you because it was like a family house. You understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes I was the only child of my parents, and then the rest were the children of the firstborn and stuff like that. So like I was the least amongst them. So most times maybe I'm eating, and then I'll tell them I'm not satisfied. I want more. The vulgar words that they will use on me,
Yeah.
and that thing created timidity in me. And then my grandmom will always come, come, enter inside. I've told you they don't love you. I've told you they don't love you. And I grew up with that. And because I was not living with my parents, I didn't grow up with them. I find it very, although God has really helped me now, but I find it very difficult for me to flow. Right? In fact, I love being alone. I love it when I'm alone. But to some people, that's not the best. But simply because that's how I grew up. You understand? I can't help it. So this attention that we are really talking about, do you think it goes beyond the scope of training into education and then into choosing a career as a child? Do you think
Yeah.
that because of the attention a parent gives, that he or she have the ability to influence the career
No.
that his word will choose? Do you think that's
No, see,
necessary?
parents that's why they said the first education a child receives is from their parents.
Hmm.
Parents are there to like guide you, support you, advise you, and direct you. You
Okay.
understand? A parent is not supposed to normally as a child when you get to the point of a teenager, you want to do things by yourself.
Hmm.
And in this life, you cannot learn without making mistakes, your own mistakes. I know your parents might be like, okay, this is what I went through, this is the mistakes I made. No, a child has to be allowed to go out there, make their own mistakes, and learn from it. So I don't think a parent should influence stuffs on their child because they are paying attention to them. It's just like you. coming up to tell your child, you have to be a lawyer. How? Do you know if I want to be a lawyer? No, you cannot, because you're paying attention to your child, you decide to make decisions for your child. You're like, you have to do these things so that he or she doesn't fall into bad hands. No, you're just there to advise your child, okay, this is what a lawyer does. This is what it's like to be a doctor. This is what it's like to be a nurse. You can make a choice what you want to do. You understand? Now you're telling your child, you must be a doctor or you must be a lawyer. Me, I have chosen for you to be a lawyer. No, it's not done like that.
Okay, you made mention of saying that children should be allowed to go out there and make their own mistakes. Can you elaborate what you mean?
What I'm saying is,
Because there are some people that might not really understand what you are saying. They will draw it from the other perspective. Say,
yeah,
it was said, allow me to go and make mistakes.
I
no,
think I think I
no,
think what
no.
she's trying to say, she's trying to talk about the ability. Just go out. This if you fail, I'll correct you.
Yes,
You
Okay,
understand?
yeah,
okay.
Now you don't have to let them go beyond a particular circle.
Threshold.
You
Okay.
understand?
Okay.
You give them the privilege to say like something like, just go. Your mates are doing it. You know very well your child haven't for once
yes,
drove a car. You
yeah.
gave him the key. Go and
Go
do
and
it.
drive.
You are risking out. You understand? You're
Yeah,
risking the child. What she's trying to say on my own thinking,
Understanding.
yeah, on my own understanding. I'm trying to think. Maybe she's saying that the child, you give her a little privilege while
And
your own
opportunity.
attention is still on
yes,
the child.
yes,
You
yeah,
understand?
yeah,
Attention to me affect the skill the child choose. You
Okay.
understand? The child likely might become what he or she doesn't want to be because of the attention, and might become what he or she wants to be because
Because
of
of
the
the
attention.
attention.
yes,
So you
yes,
have to pay absolute attention to your child and find out what is this child good at. Sponsor the child on that way. The child is going to progress. Not a situation where you grow up to say that the child really loves engineering 24/7. The child is always trying to screw
yeah.
up something. You understand? You end up trying to grow up the child in
Come
a
and be an
way.
educationist
Not just that, you might even say, come and be a farmer. It's our culture that we are farmers in this
in this
community.
community.
You
Yeah.
understand? And you come to discover that your child
You've
products
stunted
farm
the
products will
dream.
never grow because that's not his field. That's not his or her field. So
Mm.
you pay attention. The attention might come right from the infant age, where your child is wrong, though the child doesn't understand you. But you see some parents will just use one
Use
of
their
their hand and
fingers.
beat.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand? Those
Just
are the
stop it.
attention that corrects the child
Child.
and tells the child, yes, you are getting yourself prepared to face the world. There are times that you won't be around the child again. Maybe the child might grow up to a stage where his or her educational background has been able to guarantee him the privilege to be
Of living.
overseen, and you
Yeah,
are still
yeah.
here. The child will only live by your advice, the attention you gave to
To him,
him that came from the advice, like they
your
are more to your
actions. Yeah,
attention,
yeah,
you
yeah.
understand?
Do you think that there is a threshold or there is a limit where your attention, or maybe your child doesn't really need your attention again? Or do you think that you
Yeah,
should continually and continuously pay attention to your child until maybe the day you die?
there is a limit. That's why she used the word let her go and try. Let he or she go and try. There is a limit. You don't have to ban your child in a situation where the child becomes introvert, coming out to seek people.
People cannot socialize.
Cannot
He or she cannot
socialize, you
Yeah,
cannot
socialize.
even say anything. You just so shy, you
Feels
understand?
timid. He or she
Give
feels
this
timid.
child that freedom where sometimes just go out,
That
face the
was my
people.
experience.
You understand? Go
hmm.
out, face the people. The child will be able to defend himself even in your absence. Not a situation where the child exists and you're not there anymore. You understand? The child cannot even. This land belongs to your father. You be like village people don't they ask you, let me be my own. You understand? They
Mm.
just give the child the freedom to mingle around with people, but still advise him to be careful.
Still watch.
You understand?
Pay close
That
attention
would
to
be
what he's
better
doing.
than just making the child an introvert or in the name of attention. It's not
Yeah,
fine.
Okay. We have hit the nail on the head. From the parent perspective.
Yeah,
I know that that's really what we came out to talk about today.
sure.
But do you think, or do you believe that the child can actually help the parent give him or her attention? I mean, do you believe that the child has responsibility also, a part to play?
That's
If yes,
that's
if yes,
only
then let us hear.
that's only if you have given your child the motive to believe that you are always there for he or she. You understand? You always talk to the child, advise the child, makes the child she did mention that the father was close to her.
Okay.
Now she has the ability to go close to her father, you understand, than the other siblings. The attention was too much on her. But that's the attention we are talking about. Giving your child attention where the child is free to talk to you.
He believes the
Daddy,
child, he or she
daddy,
believes that,
yeah,
oh, you have an answer
daddy, I
to
went to
every
school
problem.
today. A friend
This
of
one
mine
happened.
just came and said I should smoke. Daddy, is it good to smoke? Like, your dad might be like, no, it's not good. This is what the scripture says about smoking. This is
Or
that, you
it destroys
understand?
your health, or these are
But
the
at a point where you're always strict, 24/7, you're always strict, go and bring that cane. Why did you do
why
it?
did
The
Yeah.
child
I'll
might
kill you
develop
today.
this fear in you.
Yes, I will not be able to approach you.
Yeah, absolutely. So why will I even tell my dad that? My dad might ask me, well, why did you even mingle with them? Why did you go there? You went there. That's why they gave you the smoke. You
Yes.
understand? You give this child that freedom to believe that you are a friend and not just a father.
The father.
You are a friend and not just a mother.
Because there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. So you just made mention of something. Always don't tell the child, come bring the cane. Why did you do that? Do you believe in the world of today that there's a way a child can be taken care of or guarded up to the stage of adulthood without being caned?
It's possible. It's possible.
Wow.
You can still have that best training even without being king. It's not always about flocking a child all the
Yeah.
time. You
So
understand?
what's
Sometimes,
what's what's it really
yeah,
about?
there is an
Because I want to
alternative.
get it. I'll become a father sooner.
It's fine for you, but I
Okay.
think there is an alternative that can play that role. You
Okay.
understand?
So
Call up
so.
your child,
Mhm.
sit your child, tell your child a vivid reason why you think what he or she is doing is bad. Possibly you can use a close by example, not an example from
From
afar.
afar, okay.
You want to tell your child driving a car with speed of so and so kilometer is
Kilometers.
bad, and you want to set an example for the child. You are using someone from there's one Jack and Jan from USA. You understand? The child will not learn fast. This is our
Wow.
community. You might find someone around and say, oh yeah, do you know a Kankuyu, that boy
I
that used to
understand.
drive a
Yeah.
Kankuyu? Like close example can
This
make
is
the
what
child
happened.
learn
This is
faster
what
even
happened.
without using cane. So
Okay.
when the child is wrong, in replacement of the cane, think of no replacement. Because even the Bible says we should use it,
Okay.
not all the time.
All right.
So gain really matters also, but not all the time. Using gain all the time might make the child dumb, dull.
Okay.
The child will not be exposed to freedom. At the end of the day, you end up losing your fatherhood. You understand? The child can't even talk to you anymore, which is
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
Something. Well, the question you asked actually reminded me of something.
All right.
When you say, is it possible to correct a child without flogging? Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, I think.
There was this child that stole something. The child stole watermelon to eat. When the mom found out, normally as a Nigerian mom, you're supposed to like flog the living daylight out of this child. Do you know what the mom did? She bought small watermelon for the child, and she placed it for the child and asked the child to eat. And the child ate to a point that he was tired. He told the mom he's tired. The mom said it's a lie.
You
Keep
must eat
eating.
too.
Eat till you are very certain that you will not steal it another time. And true to it, the boy did not steal again. And the boy, till now, the boy cannot eat watermelon. Like when he sees watermelon, definitely you
He
remember what
remembers.
happened.
Yeah, there's a story
So
behind the watermelon.
yes, there's a
As
story
well.
behind the watermelon. No, you have to avoid watermelon. So the mom didn't have to flog the child. She just used common sense, which is something that is given to all of us. We just fail to use it. Just use common sense and corrected that child. And the child grew up with it till he was an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, so correcting a child can actually be done without flogging. Yeah.
Okay. So as we all know, the Bible says that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the times, and it says that every house is built by some man, or God is the builder of them all. So we should not forget that when it has to do with a human being, we are not just we are tripartite in nature.
Yeah.
We are spirit, we are soul, and we are body. You understand? So I think also from my angle, I think to be actually there for a child, and you have to go with this balanced perspective, because when you pay much attention to the spiritual need of the child and then dumping the psychological need and the physical need, like maybe asking the child to pray always without giving the child food to eat. You know, that thing automatically you are creating a chance so that this child can steal. So I want to encourage the parents out there, make sure that whatever you are doing, you have a balanced perspective of bringing your child up. When you pay attention to the spiritual need, you should also pay attention to the soulish need of the child, and also attention to the psychological or physical need of the child. Because the spiritual need helps the child to grow spiritually.
Sure.
Then the soulish need, that's it has to do with the
The
mind.
physical part of the life.
Yes, yes. And then you need to teach your child knowledge, give the child knowledge, because I realize that every action that a person takes is a result of um, his level of ignorance or his level of knowledge. You get
This level of understanding over the
understanding.
issue.
Yes, yes. So automatically, when we display our character, is a result of our limitation in knowledge or our ignorance.
Okay.
You get.
Okay.
So please, whoever is watching out there, to you that is watching out there, please, please. I actually had this burden to call us for us to talk about this thing, because I did not really have the privilege to grow in an environment where I enjoy parental attention.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth, I never had it. I never had it. And the way I am today, if not that I've been taught so many things from well-meaning mentors, and I would have been a decade in society. So I really want to appreciate you, Eva Black, for
I really appreciate.
coming out to share with us.
Yeah, it's always a privilege to be with
Miss
Ibom
Christina
Block.
John, thank
You're
you very much
welcome.
for coming to pour out your heart, and then help build society, and help our nation become a better place. And finally, before we wrap up the show, is there something you want to add before we draw the curtain?
Well, I'd like to advise the parents out there that are watching, irrespective of the fact that I'm not yet a parent. I'd like to advise you
You know,
to,
we are crying for you to hear us.
yeah,
Please hear our cry. We
yeah.
have so many things happening within us. We have so many things happening. Take
So
responsibility.
I like
Please.
to tell the parents out there to learn to pay attention to their children, irrespective
Okay.
of how they are behaving. If they are behaving appropriately, they still need your attention. If they are behaving inappropriately, that's when they need you more to correct them and tell them what is right and what is wrong. And please, parents should stop letting their past direct the way their children's life is going to be. Don't allow what happened in your past make you hard on your child, because you don't want what happened to you to happen to your child. Your story might not be the same story as your child's own. So stop imposing your past life and everything on your child. Try to be soft on them. Your children need to be understood. They
Yeah.
need that attention. That's the biggest reward you can give to your child. Pay attention to your children, irrespective of the gender, be it masculine or feminine. They need your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, parents, I really appreciate that you're listening to Ibom Block, and it's a privilege to let you know that your actions, the way you train your child, influences society also. So to change the society, make sure you give that absolute attention to your
Attention to your
child.
child.
I remain Ever Black.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Until we come your way again, same time, I remain Dante Akman. Thank you very much.